They say age is only a number, but the truth is, numbers reveal secrets most of us try to ignore. 80 years, 90 years, 100 years. Why is it that some men and women walk proudly into their 90s, their minds sharp, their bodies alive, while others fade away before they even reach 80? The answer is not luck, not destiny, not chance. It is choice, hidden choices made over decades that reveal themselves in silence. Most people live unaware of the invisible enemies walking beside them every single day. And when these enemies strike, it is too late. The ancient philosophers called the body a temple, but they warned, a temple neglected will crumble faster than stone in the rain. And in the modern world, with all its noise and distractions, many forget to guard their temple. They give away their strength to habits that drain them, to foods that poison them slowly, to thoughts that rot them from the inside out. The truth is this: longevity does not come from the calendar, it comes from mastery of the 4 hidden dangers that stalk the aging soul. These dangers are subtle. They do not shout. They whisper. They build quietly like cracks beneath the surface of a mighty dam. And then one day, a flood. If you are listening to these words, it means you are still in the fight, still capable of rewriting your story, still able to carve years of strength, clarity, and energy into your future. But to do that, you must understand the hidden dangers, and you must rise above them. Think of Thomas Edison, working in his 60s, 70s, even as age tried to steal his energy. His secret was not youth, it was mastery of energy, of focus, of mind. Or think of Walt Disney, who envisioned entire worlds when most men his age had already surrendered to a rocking chair. These men understood a timeless truth. The mind and body either expand or they shrink. They grow stronger or they collapse. The choice is not made once. The choice is made daily. And for older people, those choices decide whether they live past 80 or whether they quietly fade away long before their time. The first hidden danger is stagnation, the silent death of motion. Nature shows us this everywhere. A flowing river remains pure, but stagnant water becomes toxic. The same law governs your body. When a man or woman allows themselves to sit too long, to stop stretching, to stop moving, to stop testing the strength of their muscles, they unknowingly invite decay. Muscles shrink, joints stiffen, blood slows. And with that slowness comes a flood of illnesses, each one feeding on inactivity. Henry Ford once said, "Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. The same is true for movement. Anyone who stops moving invites age to claim them early. And yet movement does not demand the madness of youth. It does not ask you to run marathons or break records. It asks for devotion, daily motion, intentional use of your body so that energy flows like a river instead of stagnating like a swamp. Walking, stretching, lifting, even small acts compound into armor against decline. But most older people do not see stagnation as an enemy. They call it rest. They call it taking it easy. They believe the lie that slowing down is natural. Yet nature reveals the opposite. The lion hunts until its final breath. The eagle soars until its wings can no longer rise. Life itself thrives in motion. And so the first danger to destroy is stagnation. The belief that you no longer need to move. For the moment you stop moving, you stop living. Aging has a way of whispering lies into the ear. Lies that say weakness is inevitable, that frailty is destiny, that the flame must dim as the years advance. But history defies that whisper. Consider Benjamin Franklin, who, at 70 years old, crossed the ocean to negotiate treaties that changed the shape of nations. Think of Michelangelo, who painted until his hands were twisted with arthritis, yet the fire of creation refused to leave his grip. What they proved is simple. The body bends to the commands of the spirit, and the spirit bends to the commands of belief. Age is not an anchor unless you chain yourself to it. The true danger is not the number of candles on the cake, it is the belief that you no longer have the power to blow them out. The first hidden danger every older person must confront is stagnation of the mind. The moment the mind ceases to grow, the body begins to wither. Neural pathways are like rivers. When they flow, they carve beauty into the landscape of your soul. But when they dry up, decay sets in. This is why the elderly who continue to read, to study, to learn languages, to play instruments, often live longer and sharper lives than those who simply surrender to routine. Henry Ford once said, "Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young." Your mind is your fountain of youth, but it demands to be fed with curiosity, challenge, and relentless exploration. Without it, you may live, but you will not thrive. The second hidden danger is neglect of movement. The tragedy of modern life is that too many treat the body like a cage when it was built to be a cathedral. Muscles weaken not because of age, but because they are left unused. Bones grow brittle not because of time, but because they are deprived of the resistance that keeps them alive. Look at Charles Euster, who began competitive bodybuilding at 87, or Tao Porchon Lynch, who taught yoga into her 90s with the elegance of a ballerina. They remind us that movement is not reserved for the young. It is the very act that keeps you young. Motion is life, and when you choose stillness, you choose decline. The third hidden danger is isolation. Humans are not meant to grow old in silence. The soul starves without connection. Loneliness corrodes the heart faster than any disease. Think of Thomas Edison, who, even in his later years, surrounded himself with minds that sparked his own. He didn't allow himself to become an island, because he knew islands eventually erode. Connection is not just laughter around a table. It is the medicine of purpose. It is being reminded that you still matter, that your wisdom is not a relic, but a gift. Isolation is the shadow that kills long before the body surrenders. And the fourth hidden danger, the most insidious of all, is surrendering hope. Hope is oxygen to the aging soul. The moment you believe your best years are behind you, you suffocate possibility. Yet history is drenched with proof that the greatest achievements often bloom in the autumn of life. Colonel Sanders built Kentucky Fried Chicken at 65. Laura Ingalls Wilder published her first Little House book at 64. They refused to see age as a closing door. They saw it as an open stage, finally ready for them to step into their true performance. So, the dangers are not the years. They are the beliefs, the habits, the invisible chains you allow to tighten around your neck. To avoid them is to choose life when others choose decline. To avoid them is to rewrite the story of aging, not as a descent, but as a second rise. And to embrace that rise is to discover the truth, that the older body may grow slower, but the older soul grows brighter, sharper, stronger, if only you dare to feed it with vision, discipline, connection, and above all, hope. When you reach the later chapters of life, you begin to realize something profound. Longevity is not just about the number of years you live, but about the vitality you bring to each of those years. History remembers not merely the people who lived long, but the ones who lived well. Michelangelo sculpted masterpieces into his late 80s. Benjamin Franklin was influencing nations and inspiring revolutions well into old age. These men did not simply survive the passing decades. They carried the fire of purpose, clarity, and self-mastery into every single day. The danger of age is not weakness. It is resignation. The silent whisper that tells you to give up, to slow down, to stop dreaming, to stop striving, to let the clock dictate your destiny. That whisper is the greatest hidden danger of all, because the moment you stop seeing tomorrow as a promise, you begin to surrender today as a burden. But the truth, my friend, is that the body bends to the will of the mind. If you believe that age is a decline, it will be so. But if you believe that age is a sharpening, a distilling of wisdom, a gathering of strength into its purest form, then your years will become your fuel, not your limitation. The body needs nourishment, discipline, and movement, yes, but the spirit needs vision. A man without vision ages 10 times faster than a man with a dream still burning inside him. Dreams do not retire. Dreams do not fade with time. They wait silently for you to claim them, no matter if you are 20 or 80. The world does not need you to slow down. It needs you awake, alive, and unafraid of the fire that still lives in your chest. Think of Abraham Lincoln, worn by endless nights of war, wrinkled by grief and responsibility, yet his spirit burned until the last breath. Think of Thomas Edison, tinkering, experimenting, envisioning inventions until the twilight of his years. Think of Helen Keller, who proved that even when the body limits, the spirit can expand beyond imagination. These figures remind us of one undeniable truth. Health is not only measured in numbers or reports, but in the vibrancy of the life you choose to live. So ask yourself, are you living each day as if your health, your energy, and your future depend on it? Or are you silently allowing the hidden dangers, stress, apathy, isolation, and resignation, to drain the fire from your years? The answer to that question is your power. Because the path to a long, radiant life is not found in magic formulas, secret pills, or fleeting shortcuts. It is found in the daily choice to feed your body with movement, your mind with purpose, your heart with gratitude, and your spirit with unstoppable belief. Each choice you make today plants the seeds of the life you will live tomorrow. Every step, every breath, every thought becomes a brick in the temple of your health and longevity. And when the day comes that your story is told, let them say this of you, not that you merely lived long, but that you lived fully, that you rose each morning with fire in your eyes, that you carried wisdom with humility, and that you refused to let the hidden dangers of life steal your light. Let them say that you grew stronger with age, not weaker, that you carried purpose into every year, and that you showed the world that life does not end when the hair turns silver. It begins anew with every heartbeat. The truth is eternal. The power to live long and well is already within you. Guard your mind, move your body, feed your spirit, and remember, age is not the shadow of decline. Age is the crown of endurance. Wear it with pride, live it with fire, and let your life be the proof that hidden dangers have no power over a soul awakened to its destiny.